So speaking of Bethesda's biggest game ever is free
Starfield.
and remastered. Ever.
And remastered?
Ever?
Yes.
It be Starfield.
So before Starfield, before Skyrim, before Fallout 3, and Oblivion, before your parents even knew how to make you, there was the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. It was...
Oh, they've remastered it?
Yes. It was and remains Bethesda's biggest ever game, and now a fan-made rebuilding of the entire vast world in Unity has reached its 1.0 release. Oh, and it's entirely free, and won't be destroyed by lawyers. This new Daggerfall is an almighty achievement and exactly the excuse you need to return to Tamriel. Daggerfall originally released in the magical gaming year of 1996. It was an astonishing moment in gaming history, a year when video games demonstrated they were capable of achievements vastly greater than anyone had dared imagine. It was the year of seismic releases like Super Mario 64, Quake, and Pokemon Red and Blue. Gaming's potential exploded exponentially, and few games exemplified this better than Bethesda's second entry in the Elder Scrolls legacy. 2023 Starfield has roughly 1,000 planets you can visit. 1996's Daggerfall features 15,000 locations to explore, spread across High Rock and Hammerfell. It features everything you'd expect from an Elder Scrolls game, with free exploration, guilds to join, religions to associate with, and reputation system, and of course the ability to get turned into a vampire or a werewolf. This was all set in a game world the size of the United Kingdom, said to be 80,823 square miles big. It's hard to better show this impossible vastness of this than in this epic Reddit post, which superimposed the map of Skyrim over that of Daggerfall. All of this is now playable in updated, prettified graphics along with a full mod support thanks to Daggerfall Unity. 10 years in development, and the team behind it declared the project complete on the last day of 2023. And best of all, it's entirely free, thanks to Bethesda's releasing the original game for free in 2009 to celebrate its 15th anniversary. In 2022, it added that free version of the game to Steam. To play Daggerfall Unity, you will need to download that free game from Steam, then download the Daggerfall Unity release, and unzip the later and tell it where to find the former. You'll then likely want to install approximately 480 billion mods, which are abundant. But importantly, having just tested it myself, you don't need to. The game works perfectly at launch in enormous resolution with crisp, clean UI. Bethesda intended Daggerfall to be a game people could just keep playing forever with its enormous size and hundreds of hours of quests. The developer probably didn't think that would be literal, but 27 years later, it's proving extremely valid. I'm going to look at this Reddit post here real quick. This is the picture. But that's a pretty big map. That little brown square in the middle is Skyrim's world map.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
What? Say that again.
Yeah, that little square in the center of the ocean there is the entire playable area in Skyrim.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
What the fuck? Wait a minute.
Game.
And I thought Skyrim was a large map.
Well.
Whoa.
So
see, the license is freeware. When they did that, I guess in 2009.
Yeah.
So it's.
I haven't messed with Daggerfall. I know that I bought the Elder Scrolls box set for PC, so I've got all the Elder Scrolls games on Steam, and I tried to play the OG. I think it was Arena was the OG one. It might have been the second one. I don't know. I don't remember. But it controlled very differently. You didn't have WASD controls. You had to press the forward button that's on the screen with the mouse to go forward. If you wanted to turn left, you had to press the turn left arrow on the screen to turn left. So I don't know how Daggerfall, if it plays like a traditional third or first person game where you walk around and do your own thing, but I'm sure that's where the mods and things like that, if it is like that. I know that Bethesda has targeted, what was it, Sky Oblivion and Morrowind's conversion into the Skyrim engine, the re-release of those. I wonder if like this being as popular as it is, because there's a lot of buzz around this. I wonder if Bethesda could potentially, and this is another money-making venture, do you think that they would bring a team in specifically for recreating those older Elder Scrolls games in a newer engine? What do you think, Dirt?
I mean, it's worth a shot. I don't know if Microsoft's going to do that, though.
You don't think so?
I mean,
do you think
expensive?
Do you think that they might try to go in and like?
Well, this is a free game.
Yeah, but it's not available.
Money,
but it's not available.
No, you're right.
Consoles.
It's not available. You're right.
So that's where they get you.
And if it was on their Game Pass,
exactly.
You know,
yeah,
people like, oh shit.
Yeah,
but I don't know how it plays. It's a first person.
Yeah.
90 gameplay here.
So 96, you have to imagine that it's got like typical WASD controls. It shouldn't be hard to like transfer that over. They could remaster it and re-release it on Game Pass, and it would just be another another thing that you get on Game Pass. Because most people's first delve into Elder Scrolls is either Morrowind or Oblivion, right?
Yep.
So there's like 2 to 3 games prior to that people's never even played. And I think that if Bethesda and Microsoft got a team together, maybe this team that did the Unity thing, they spent 10 years working on this in their free time, they could turn this into something profitable for Microsoft and Bethesda.
They could even remaster it, make it a new game.
Exactly. Recopyright it.
Well, update, everything looks better.
Yeah.
Use a different engine.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a really big map.
That is a massive map. Yeah.
Well,
everything's kind of already there. Like,
you've got to think we're at a point where there's a generation of kids who started on Skyrim.
You're correct. That's been out for 13 years.
Yeah, it came out in 2011. That was my son's first Elder Scrolls game, and he went back and played Oblivion afterwards and Morrowind after that.
Right.
So, I mean, I think they could stand to make a lot of money from people like us who want to get nostalgic, because there's people our age that definitely had this on PC when they were young.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I didn't play it until I was older and got it on Steam.
Right.
But I would love to see it on a modern engine, dude. Those games are just so good.
Yeah. This is kind of where it turns into that weird that weird period in time where retro, like it's still considered retro, but it was like the first round of like 3D computer graphics, right?
When you first got it, you were like, I don't know how to ever get better than this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. So
for real,
you can pop in a Super Nintendo game, a Genesis game, even a Nintendo game. It still looks good and it still plays how it's meant to be played and everything. If you put in something from PlayStation, Saturn, N64, and like early to mid 90s PC, it's going to be a rough experience. The controls are going to suck.
GoldenEye came out, you were like, they'll never top this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for real.
If you look at that shit now, it's like, oh.
And we live in this weird space where we can look past that and still play it and enjoy it almost strictly off of nostalgia alone. But
yeah, purely.
The generation below us, they're not going to take the time of day to even
laugh at that.
Exactly. You'll have a couple of people in there that'll be like, hey, this is cool and interesting, and I want to play through it and experience it because this is what allowed, like, you could see the logical progression. You have Quake, and then you have 007, then you have, it goes up to Halo, then it goes up to this, it goes up to Call of Duty. Like, you see the natural progression of things. People are going to want to revisit that, but not a lot of people are going to stick around for that. So, Garbo, I know you saw the size of that map. If you got a PC tomorrow, would you play Daggerfall?
I mean, before you said it was only, the mod was, when you told me it was modded, that's when I was like, oh, but yes, I would, because I already wanted. But let's just talking about it.
Okay, and that leads to a better question. If they released, because like I said, I got the Elder Scrolls box set that had everything from the first game that released all the way up until Skyrim, right? And I bought that for like 30 or 40 bucks at Walmart. It came with maps and all kinds of stuff of each of the different games and all that stuff. If they released a version of that for console, are you thinking twice about buying it?
No.
It's got all the Elder Scrolls games in, and they're accessible and easily playable on your console.
I'll buy them.
I think there's a lot of people that feel that they would feel that same way, right? Like,
absolutely.
I think.
What about you? You wouldn't? Would you not?
I mean, I can play
That
it.
would be awesome. Ooh, I know, but
15,000
like all of them, like they
locations.
release a whole thing. That's just saying, it's wild. There's like, I'm already on it. I'm already playing it.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah.
I logged
I'm
into
telling you
Steam.
right this very second. You don't even know.
Give me all the mines.
Imagine how crazy it would be if they, since this is freeware, they released a multiplayer mod for it where you can party up with people in there.
Surely there's a mod for that.
I mean, that's not out of the realm of possibility. You could host the server on your end.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it runs good.
Oh, for sure. 96, get out of here. Like that would be because I've always wanted to play like Elder Scrolls, the way that Elder Scrolls is, not Elder Scrolls Online, but like the way that Elder Scrolls is with people. Like it would be cool to party up with just one other person, run some dungeons, throw some magic at people. You know what I'm saying? Steal stuff. Like, come on.
Well, they don't want to compete with Elder Scrolls Online, though.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I think that's the next logical steps, though, for Bethesda and for Elder Scrolls and even Fallout to a degree. It's like, how do you make an MMO type game without being an MMO type game to where players' actions influence story events that happen, where a server that's populated with 100 people can exist and continue to run and be a wholly unique experience. Like we're getting to that point now where they can do that across all platforms. And I think at some point that might be the future, because think about it. Bethesda released Skyrim in 2011. They released 2 or 3 expansions for it, I think. If I remember correctly. Imagine if they made a forever game where they're just continuously updating, continuously opening other areas of the map up, continuously adding more quests and more things to do. But even if it's just a single player experience, then you turn a single player game into almost a games as a service type thing where it's like you pay $5 a month, you get all of this stuff. I could see Microsoft doing that for sure,
Yeah, they like subscriptions.
For sure, but you get it for free with Game Pass. If you're playing it on Game Pass, you don't have to pay the in-game subscription. But, of course, right? So I want to take one last look at this map. I mean, this is a big map. That's a lot of places to explore. I might have to download this on Steam and then do the Unity thing just to hop in there and see how it plays and what the experience is like, Who knows? Maybe coming to a stream near you. Be on the lookout. Subscribe.